10 from with 90 left, so obviously he's dealing with Meiser. If he's dealing with the first Truma, Eser Maya Vidite. What does it mean 10? Elahacha we have to say differently, but Trumas Meiser Skina. We're dealing with Trumas Meiser. What happens is the Levi gets 10 out of 100, but the Levi then has to give 1/10 of what he gets to the Kayan. It's called Meiser Mina Meiser, 1/10 of a 1/10. So that goes to the Kayan. So when Rabbi Yossi says my father would take 10, wasn't talking about the Meiser. He's talking about that he had 1,000. That originally there were 1,000. He was given 100 because he must have been a Levi, right? And he's giving to the Kayan 10 out of those 100.
That's right.
So it's Meiser Mina Meiser, which is called Trumas Meiser. And over there, there's really, it sounds like it's supposed to be Meiser Mina Meiser, but Abba and his father is Elazar ben Goimelhu. It means that he goes according to the opinion of Elazar ben Goimel. The Tanya, and I'm sorry, but Abba Elazar ben Goimelhu. This must mean that when he says his father, he says his father, referring to Rabbi Yossi. So now it says that this Brisa is Abba Elazar ben Goimelhu. The Tanya. It says Abba Elazar ben Goimel Omer. Abba Elazar ben Goimel says that v'nechshav lechem trumaschem, that it will consider for you your truma. That we're dealing with two types of truma. The original truma, which is the first one that's given to the Kayan, and then the second truma, which is taken from the Meiser. And just like the truma gedela is taken by estimation, it's not actually calculated, it's all estimated. So ube machshava, can also be separated with thought. It means you can put your eyes on one side and consider that to be the truma. With you in your mind, you make it up that that's truma. Does it get the holiness of truma? That's a machlekes we mentioned between the Rebbe and his father. The Rebbe held that it gets the holiness of truma just by considering it that, and the Rebbe's father held that the Rebbe was mistaken. He wrote very sharp. You didn't look at it carefully enough. You didn't. Kach Trumas Meiser. So too Trumas Meiser, the second Meiser, Nitelas Ba'imid of Machshava, is taken by estimation and Machshava. Okay, now we say Matrum Gedela Ba'in Yafa, Av Trumas Meiser Ba'in Yafa. So just like Truma Gedela, we said that you can take more generous. So Trumas Meiser can take more generous, and then we've answered our question why he gave 10 and Umina. The problem is now that if that's the case, then we have a question back. Rabbi Yossi says, my father would take 10 dried figs. He was more lenient. He would take 10 dried figs and 90, leaving 90 fresh figs. So if you say that you go the way it was originally, so shaper, then that makes sense, because you look at all the dried figs as they are fresh, and then it makes sense. But if you look at it now, so batzalahu, you're giving too little. He held that it wasn't a problem, because Gregors, even though right now they're shriveled, but if you put them in water, they will swell back up. So you don't have to do that. You can give it because it potentially could go back to that stage. Okay, let's stop over here.